Well, I guess we're bear hunting again, but weather's not great. Daniel and I pulled out into camp here this afternoon for the first day, and there's a big thunderstorm going on right now. It's just blowing in. So we're gonna ride that out, and then we're gonna head out this afternoon for the first real hunt. We snuck out last night for a bit, and then we had to make her back for the Oilers game. So tonight will be our first official evening. Come here to finish what we started last year.
I've said it before, and I'll say it time and time again. One of the absolute greatest parts about working in the hunting industry is meeting new people and becoming close friends over the simple love of the outdoors and hunting. It's hard to believe, but I met my good friend Daniel Martichuk nearly 10 years ago at a hunting trade show when we first began this journey. Since then, we've shared countless adventures together and have spent time in camp chasing plenty of critters. And through Daniel is how I was introduced to a gentleman named Don Willimont. In the Prince George region of British Columbia, Don needs no introduction, as his effects on the hunting industry and the culture are widely known. Don is a passionate hunter and an even more passionate conservationist. Don also happens to be the general manager of the local Chevrolet dealership in town, and understanding the value that the hunting community provides in the car business, Don hasn't shied away from promoting to that audience. In fact, Don has positioned the dealership Wood Wheaton Supercenter to be a proud supporter of the hunting industry. It was through that shared passion for the outdoors that Don and I were willing to strike up a friendship and a partnership to make Wood Wheaton Supercenter the official truck sponsor of our show. But what I didn't expect was to build the type of friendship that we've since developed. In the spring of 2021, we had made plans to spend a week in the forest of northern British Columbia together, chasing some of the giant spring black bears that the region was known for. With Don and Daniel eagerly waiting to show me what BC had to offer, I was excited to make my first trip into the wilderness with a tag in my pocket.
Day one, very sleepy.
Should be drinking a Red Bull then, not a Gatorade.
I don't have any. Don is gone. He's already shot a bear.
Yeah. We're just the recovery team.
Unlike the bear hunts I'd done in the past, the name of the game here was to cover as much ground as possible, hoping to catch a hungry boar in search of the first few blades of green grass in the spring. With thousands of miles of logging roads connecting an intricate grid of logging blocks, it's long days in the truck bouncing from glassing point to glassing point, looking at smaller bears until you find the one that you're looking for.
It's a tough country. You cruise along and you don't got a lot of time, and I hope you spot them before they spot you. So this one definitely spotted us first. But Don figures that a lot of times they'll just step into the trees. You can kind of move your way past them, give them some time, and they'll eventually cruise back out. And this is a beautiful old forestry road. A lot of green on both sides, and you can see the tracks up and down it there coming out, and they're clearly feeding on it. So, I mean, he was on the road. Chances are he's going to want to come back onto it. So, I don't even know. You wouldn't really call it a road. It's just a two-track down to the cup blocks. But I'm going to grab some stuff. I'm going to grab my rifle, vinyl case, whatever else I figure we might need, and go take a look at him if we can.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Wood Wheaton Supercenter, Rexbid Broadheads, the MD of Bonneville, Hoyt Archery, Weatherby, Deluxe Wall Tents, and Wapiti River Outdoors. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Tourism Saskatchewan. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Wood Wheaton Supercenter, a proud supporter of our outdoor heritage.
Actually seems like a decent bear, doesn't
Not
it?
a bad bear.
Oh, sorry.
I just can't get a good look at its head.
He's kind of got that.
Nice and crease.
He's got that boar I don't care attitude.
He does. Yeah, he's got quite a bit of a gut there, guys.
Big white blaze on him too. It's just nice.
Telling you
Can I have a look?
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad bear at all. I don't know, like we don't see that bear. I don't think we'll see that bear tomorrow. We might see it the day after.
Yeah, see, to me, he's a big bear. To me, he's a big bear, but I just don't know what I'm looking at. To me, like that bear at home, just from what I'm seeing, would be like a 7 foot, 18-inch bear kind of deal. Is what I would be, is what I would put him at. And from our home bears, like just a bear that looks like that would be like 7 foot, 18 inches.
He's giving you every opportunity in the world.
What'd you learn, Danny?
He definitely doesn't get any smaller as you get closer.
No?
He increases the size when you get closer. He's definitely still got the attitude.
Yeah.
He's popping his jaw at me and stuff. He thinks he's super tough. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely not going anywhere. But is he what we think he is? He's not bigger than us. Maybe a 6'2" bear.
Hard to tell.
I don't know. Like, I've shot that bear I've shot that bear twice, and I've been with 3 or 4 other people who have shot that bear in the last couple of years. It's a good bear, but it's not.
If we're gonna live by the flip-flop rules, then I guess we're pulling out.
We knew he was a good bear, but after watching him for 20 minutes, he just wasn't the kind of bear that we had traveled all this way to try and find. We knew this area held some ancient old boars, and we made the tough decision to hold off and keep looking. We would spend the rest of the week sizing up dozens of bears, but in the end, we just couldn't find what we were looking for. As I traveled back home to Alberta, I knew that this wasn't going to be the end of the story for me. We immediately began making plans for the next spring, and before we knew it, we were back in familiar ground, searching once again for that special bear.
Well, I guess we're bear hunting again, but weather's not great. Daniel and I pulled out into camp here this afternoon for the first day, and there's a big thunderstorm going on right now. It's just blowing in. So we're gonna ride that out, and then we're gonna head out this afternoon for the first real hunt. We snuck out last night for a bit, and then we had to make her back for the Oilers game. So tonight will be our first official evening. But the rain's coming in. It's pretty dark, pretty thundery out there. Not real nice, so we're gonna ride this one out for a bit, and then once she clears up, we're gonna get out there and cover some ground. I'm excited. Come here to finish what we started last year. We've seen some really good bears, had some opportunities. One bear in particular that I really wish we could have got a shot at, and we tried at the end and just couldn't make it happen. And so that's where we're headed tonight. We're gonna see if he's a creature of habit or not. Maybe he'll be in the same block in the same area. We're gonna pound that area pretty hard for the first day or so and see if we can maybe come across him.
Got a lot to learn, but I'm not even close. Through my inhibition, I've become quite sure that I love you.
Rolled up to the lookout point here, kind of where we were last year, overlooking a big valley. And way down in the big green meadow down there, there's definitely a decent bear. It's hard to say. We're probably 700-800 yards away from him. He just stepped into some trees, so we got the spotter on him. We're gonna wait for him to step out and get a better look at him, but he'd be in a sweet place to make a play on him too. Like we could
Easily.
rip down to the bottom there and just sneak in.
I don't know. I'd like for him to. He's got a little bit of a shorter body, but it's definitely a decent sized boar anyways. It's got thick forearms. It's a shooter class bear, but I'm unsure if it's a true giant or not. No, don't go that way.
It's a problem if he slips in there. If he was feeding out into the middle, we'd have a chance, but once he gets into that in there, you never see him.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Scree Gear, Top Notch Taxidermy Studio, Uniro Electric Bikes, Ole Smokes Coffee, Federal Premium Ammunition, High Mountain Seasonings, and Onyx Hunt. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by the MD of Bonnyville. Lake adventures happen here.
That looks like a good bear, dude. We come around the corner. We're actually in a gravel pit, and through the trees, we could see a bear standing there. So we backed up a little bit. We're grabbing our stuff. We're gonna sneak around the corner and see if we can get a good look at him. But from what I could see through the trees, he looks like a good bear. I don't think he knows we're here, so we're gonna work our way up a little bit. What else do we need? Looks pretty good to me. Did you have him?
Yep, give him.
Got him. Oh. I think he just went down right there.
He's laying dead right there, dude.
Is he laying right dead
Yeah,
there?
he's laying dead right there.
After one shot? He didn't go 5 yards.
That walloped him.
Wow, that really walloped him.
That was a good bear too. That is 2 years in the making, 2 trips to northern BC. And that is the kind of bear we've been looking for. We've seen so many bears, so many opportunities. We've passed dozens of bears looking for something like that. And we're literally in a gravel pit, and he was on the edge of it, and it took us forever to get a proper angle at him. We knew he was a shooter right away. And then finally he gave me an opportunity. I put the crosshairs on him and I pounded him. He literally ran like 8 yards and tipped over dead. I was hoping he wasn't gonna run into that jungle either, because that is thick bush.
This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Scree Canada, rugged hunting clothing for Canada's terrain.
Man, this is right about where we shot him. Standing on the edge, he was just picking up a little bit of green grass. But that bear looks way bigger than I think he was. I knew coming up here that there was some big bears to be had. But I would be lying if I told you that I had any expectation of actually getting an opportunity at a bear of that caliber. That is as big as they come. I've been fortunate to kill a lot of bears in Alberta and Saskatchewan, and this is my very first BC black bear. It's such beautiful country out here to be able to hunt bears like this right along the mountains in some of the most beautiful country you've ever seen in your life, cruising through the cut blocks, putting on miles, looking at dozens and dozens of bears, trying to judge them. I don't know how many good bears we passed up because we just don't know what we're looking at. But when you see a bear like this, you just know that it's a no-brainer. And when we come around the corner, we seen him through the trees and even through the brush. You could tell he was a big bear. And we put a stalk on him, went into the side of this gravel pit, waited for him to give us an opportunity. It felt like forever before he finally stepped into a spot where I could put a shot on him. And the brand new 270 Weatherby that we just showed up 3 days before I came on this hunt. And that bear took one shot behind the front shoulder and he made it all of 8 yards. I mean, we're so far behind on the weather this year. He's probably only been out of hibernation for a few weeks, if that. And they're just getting ready, feeding up on the green grass that they can find on the sides of these roads and these cut blocks, getting ready for the ruts. And I tell you what, this bear was going to be the dominant bear in this area. He would have definitely been doing some breeding this year. So thankfully, he cratered right here, not in that jungle. So it's going to make it really nice. We're going to get him cleaned up. In BC, you're actually legally required to take all of the meat. And I'm very excited to get this guy field dressed, put him in the cooler, go back to the lake. And we've got a few more days to try and fill another tag, because my buddy Daniel has been packing me around, helping me out for 2 seasons now to try and find this. And now we have the rest of the week to find another one.
As excited as we were to finally have a bear on the ground, the only thing that would have made it better was if Dawn was able to be a part of it with us. We started that hunt together as the 3 of us the year prior, but when plans started taking place for this year, Dawn was quick to let us know that his brother John would be out hunting with him that week and he wouldn't be able to join us in camp. As much as we missed having him with us, we understood that family will always come first. And after spending 10 hours a day driving the logging roads with Don the year prior, listening to the stories about hunting with his brother, it was easy to see how important it was for him. None of us knew it at the time, but that would be the last bear hunt Don ever got to share with his brother John. Less than a year later, John would unfortunately pass suddenly under tragic circumstances. For many of us, a large part of the hunting and outdoors lifestyle that we cherish is rooted in the memories and experiences we've had with close family and friends in the field. Countless adventures shared with our fathers, our brothers, and friends that we often consider family. For Don, the memories spent in the field with John over the years will forever be a source of healing and a sharp reminder to us all that we never truly know how much time we have left. So always remember to cherish the time spent with others, Tell those dear to you how much you love them, and never take life for granted. My heart breaks for Don and his family, and I couldn't imagine the pain that they're going through on a daily basis. But I can't help but think that Don will now have another reason to head out into the field every year and sit peacefully on the side of a mountain somewhere in the wilderness alone, hunting, but also visiting with an old friend.